This week on Dear Bros, airline affairs and cousins with benefits.
Oh, no. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Bro Down Podcast. I'm Tim Fulton.
Manny Smith.
And this is Dear Bros, a segment where we rip advice column questions for our own and we answer them in our own little bro brains. Andy was in charge of finding the question, so naturally he found multiple. And Andy, what do you, dear bro?
All right, so first up we have cousin with benefits.
Go for it.
Okay, so Dear Abby, when I was 16, my cousin Mary came from Georgia to New York to stay with us for the summer. After a short time, we began experimenting with French kissing, which led to more things happening between us.
That's what I was afraid of.
If that's not the most guy way of skipping over the shitty thing that you did. Mary went home at the end of the summer. We're both now 50 and recently learned she became pregnant back then with a daughter and never married. The DNA indicates she's mine. That's a lot of skipping over a story.
Whoa!
A lot of skipping over there. How did you just end up taking a DNA test? There had to be a conversation there. But
What'd you do? Kidnap the kid? It's not even a kid. How old were they originally? Can you scroll back up?
15? 16.
So it's not a kid. 16, we'll say 17 when she had the kid. That makes it 33. That's our age.
Yeah. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. Yo, remember that time you banged your cousin? Yeah. Indicates that she's mine. My question is, how do I explain to my wife that I need to be there for my daughter? I mean, she's probably got a full-time job at this point and her own kids, so...
What are you going to be there for?
I don't know. Well, I get it. I never had any other kids. This is just getting worse. I didn't read that part first. As my wife can't have children. Okay. Please help me.
I don't even know what to say.
You fucked up. I mean, you fucked up in the beginning by fucking your cousin when you're 16.
All right. So outside of this sorry, dude.
You banged your cousin.
You banged your cousin.
I mean, is that legal? Hold
I don't think they can outlaw stuff like that.
I'm gonna
you can't marry your cousin.
I'm going to fuck up your search engine here. I'm going to say marry your first.
No, you can't marry your first cousin.
In the United States, second cousins are legally allowed to marry in every state. However, marriage between first cousins is legally in only about half
Holy shit.
of the United States. And all marrying your cousin of half... Wait.
Click on the first image.
Okay, let's do this research here. Oh, no, it's gonna. Okay, I messed up. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Cousin marriage legal. First cousin marriage prohibited. First cousin marriage legal under certain circumstances. What does that mean? Like you got to bang your second cousin first just to make sure?
Maybe if they're pregnant.
Okay, so
Oklahoma was, right? So Oklahoma, first cousin marriage is prohibited.
New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maryland, D.C., Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, California, Hawaii, and Alaska are all legal. Those are the states I would think of would not be legal. You know what?
Ew.
It makes sense now because those are the states where they never have to deal with it. The states that have it prohibited were like, listen, we can't keep having all this cousin fucking going on. We got to stop this. We got to make a law. Ugh. And then like
we're gonna have a bunch of Targaryens running around.
Yeah, touching fire and breeding dragons and shit. All right, so
Some mad kings up in this.
so this dude's got a kid with his cousin.
Okay. So here's my opinion. You ready for it? Let this skeleton stay in the fucking closet. Good. What are you gonna gain out of this? She's in her 30s. So it's not like you're gonna be going to her t-ball games. She's already family, so you already have a reason to see her.
Yeah, but they know. Other people know besides him.
His cousin does.
And I'm sure the daughter does too at this point.
Have a conversation with them. Let this sleeping, do whatever you have to do. Let this sleeping, not whatever you have to do, don't murder them, but let this sleeping dog lie. Don't become the cousin fucker.
This is bad because there's so many like things that were glossed over that make this go way deeper. Like his wife can't have kids. So like maybe she just didn't want to have kids anyway on top of that. But like
You never know.
You never know. So now it's like he's got a kid with another woman that he didn't know about. But like it's like first of all,
There's always that pang.
let's just put it this way. If you went up to your wife or your husband after 20 years of marriage and you were like, I never mentioned it's a funny thing, like one time I banged my cousin. They'd be like, excuse me?
What?
Like, yeah, cousin Mary, we banged when we were 16. That alone would raise some eyebrows, right?
That's my point.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh yeah, like as proof of my story, I have a child with this woman.
There's multiple things going on here. First of all, I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say the cousin mother knew.
Cousin mother?
The cousin who is now a mother.
Okay. Okay.
She must have known. She had a kid at 16, 17 years old.
How did he not know? That's what I want to know. It's your cousin. She's close enough to you where she's coming up to visit. You bang her at 16. Like, you know what's going on at 16. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's pregnant. And who knows? Like, maybe she's just banging lots of dudes at 16.
I say,
Come on, bro.
No.
You knew that. You knew that was your kid. You knew that was your kid.
Once the third eye came out.
He knew.
No, you let this one lie. You do not raise hell with this. That's my opinion. There's no good that's going to come out of it. But I really want to. No, this is one that you don't do anything about. You let sleeping dogs lie.
This is so, this is so out of my pay grade, but the only thing with that is like, he has to walk around now with the knowledge of that grand piano just going to crush him like Wile E. Coyote in the middle of the desert. He's not even going to see it coming. It's just going to be like, ding dong. Where's my 19 years of Christmas gifts? Or 33 years of Christmas gifts? Like, I don't know, man. This is why you don't bang your cousin.
This is why you don't bang your cousin.
This is why you don't bang your cousin.
So 33 years later, you don't have to deal with the repercussions.
That's the weird part.
What?
Let me ask you that. If it wasn't his cousin, do you still give the same advice?
No. If it wasn't his cousin, because the ick factor is gone. The ick factor is gone. The ick factor is gone. If it wasn't his cousin, and we assume that he didn't know about the kid, then you try to do the right thing and make amends. It's not like you're going to actively play a role in her life, because again, she's 33. She's an adult. She can decide what's going on, but you can meet her, introduce your family, or I guess your wife at that point, and have a picnic. I don't know. But like, you can do certain things.
People are pretty retarded for most of their lives, but especially when you're young. But I feel like 16 is enough to know that you shouldn't bang your cousin. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking they're 50.
That's 88.
So 1988, I mean, this isn't like in the Pilgrim days when like you couldn't find any porn. Like, couldn't find any porn, you had to bang your cousin.
What do you say? What would your advice be?
I don't know. I would say he's writing for advice, which means he feels like he's got to do something because he literally says, I feel I need to be there. How do I explain to my wife? That's what he's asking. We should actually read the fucking questions instead of being dipshits. My question is, he literally says it. How do I explain to my wife that I need to be there for my daughter? He's not asking whether I should tell her. He's going to tell her. He just needs to explain to her how he has to be there for her.
I still think wrong question.
You're just like, no.
What are you going to do in this woman's life, this kid's life? I don't even know if it's a woman. Oh, no, a daughter, yeah. This woman's life that is going to be so I don't know. The whole thing, I say No. You're going to ruin a lot of people's lives. Let this one lie. Not like the daughter's going to talk about it. What is she going to do? Go around being like, yeah, my parents are cousins.
I mean, I have to agree with you because I have nothing.
Yeah.
I have nothing. I have to agree with you. Let's see what the expert has to say. Dear past history, is your wife aware of the short affair you had with your cousin? If not, okay. If not, start the conversation by telling her about your youthful adventure. Once she has digested this information, explain that you intended to get to know your daughter. Do not tell her the reason that she shouldn't give you... Wait, what? Oh, do not tell her the reason that she couldn't give you children, which would be cruel and innocent. Why would he say that? He didn't say that.
No, but I feel like maybe everyone is playing on the safety of the wife. Because, like, I think he is nervous because the wife couldn't have kids. So there could be, like, a pang of jealousy there, even if it's unintentional. And I think Abby is just...
She worded that very weird, though. Don't tell her the reason is that she couldn't give you children.
I want
He
to be
didn't
there
say that.
Yeah.
Jesus, Abby. Understand how that your child is now a grown woman in her mind, in her mid-30s. I can't read today. She may have no interest in getting to know you because you have been absent her whole life. I wonder why you weren't informed of this much sooner and possibly asked to contribute financially to the raising of your child. Yeah, how did this just come up 32 years later?
You got me. How did it come up 32 years later? I genuinely cannot think
What's
of a
the reason?
situation where this would have occurred.
You know what it was? Family reunion. He's like, hey, remember when we... She's like, oh, by the way. Yep.
Gross. All right, what's your other one? What's your other topic?
All right, the other one is wife of pilot faces prospect of departure. Ah, see what they did there.
What's the ETA?
All right, dear Abby, I've been married for 32 years. My husband has been cheating on me for the past 3 of them.
Ooh.
Yikes. He's an international airline captain who has taken advantage of his freedom. I recently learned that he's paid $91,000 on an apartment. He has an inheritance from his father that he draws from. My therapist suggests that he's a narcissist personality with a volatile ups and downs. My husband refuses to talk to me. He actually walks away from me when I bring up his girlfriend. He talks to her and texts her regularly. The monthly phone bills are usually over $400. What are they paying? Roaming charges? It's 2021. I need help in trying to get him to talk to me before it ends. Why?
I'm going to go ahead and say your therapist is right. You don't need to convince him to talk to you. You need to convince yourself that it's time. That's someone who's afraid of the trigger.
No, I understand why to a certain, like, she wants closure. She wants some kind of reason. Understand that from what we've heard, she ain't getting it. No answer or explanation that this guy gives is going to make it better. Because the guy doesn't even want to talk about it. He's clearly just texting and banging some other woman, like, right in her face, just dumping his balls on the table every time he comes home.
Yeah, pretty much.
And doesn't give a shit about her. So the only thing that she's going to understand is how little he gives a shit about her if she pushes the issue.
Yeah, that's as best as you can put it.
She needs to fucking get out. Leave. Go bang his boss or his, the new rookie pilot.
Do it after the divorce. I can screw with your alimony.
I mean, I think once the judge sees that he's paying for another woman's apartment.
She's got him by the balls.
Yeah.
She's got him by the balls.
Which is weird.
We'll get into that conversation
Which is
another
weird.
time.
So
Yeah.
basically, leave.
Yeah, we're in agreement. Get out.
Get out. This is an easy one.
Yeah, get out yesterday.
All right. Let's hear what Abs has to say. Dear Turning Point, your international airline captain appears to have parachuted out of your marriage.
What is with the puns today?
I don't know. I don't know.
The fuck?
It's like they're writing for the Times. Clearly, he isn't interested in trying to save what's left of it. Because he's unwilling to talk to you about it, it's important you talk to someone who will. Consult a lawyer about what your options are as a wife of more than 3 decades. Ooh, that's a nice way of saying, see how much money you can get out of this bastard. You have all my sympathy, and I'm glad you sought help from a therapist.
That's
It's
a good
so
way to put it.
eloquently.
You know
But-
what? Because she has a point with that last line. Because as good as Abby is, and as good as Dear Bros is, was
bad at grammar.
that. As good as Abby is, she will not replace a therapist. So if you're going to therapy and a good therapist is telling you to do something, an advice columnist isn't going to give you better advice in a paragraph. She's not going to give you that little jewel that is going to trump everything. The therapist.
Yeah, she seems to need to like have a good shake and like
That's-
listen.
That's what it is.
He don't care. For whatever fucking reason, you married a psycho.
Yeah. It sucks, but it is. That's what happened.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's it.
Any lasting thoughts before we get out this beach?
Don't fuck your cousin.
Did I tell you? So years ago,
Got a cousin fucking story. Now I'm nervous.
my mother
Oh.
was working at this place, and this guy was flirting with her constantly. And they were young. I think they were like 18, 19 years old. And so he eventually got the balls, and he asked her out, and she said yes. And she went home, and she talked to my grandmother. She's like, did you know? She's like, Danny Ninehouse finally asked me out. And she's like, what, who? And she goes, Danny Ninehouse. I forget what his first name is, but I remember Ninehouse. And my grandma starts laughing. She goes, yeah, that's your cousin. So she went back.
Did he know that?
No. So she goes back, and he worked in like a warehouse kind of thing. I think my mother was like a secretary or something like that. So they worked together. So she goes to talk to him. And he was like, so are you ready for our date? And she's like, we ain't going on one. And he was like, why not? She's like, we're cousins. And apparently a bunch of the guys started laughing, and they were like, you spent weeks building up to ask this girl out, and she's your cousin? Your cousin? There's a story. Hi, Ma.
We were talking about this before about how guys have no sympathy. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
But you could almost. Do you just immediately just be like, oh, she's not hot now? Clearly, some people do not. Take it away, Tim.
All right, guys, let us know what you think about these topics in the comment section down below. What do you think about the cousin affair? And should the woman leave the airline pilot? AKA, how much should she take from him in the process? Also, let me know about my weird mom-cousin story as well. We like to give a shout-out to Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do we like to steal her stories, but we like to point out that she is constantly pumping these out, I think, all week long. You can find her by Googling or DuckDuckGoing, if you're so inclined. Dear Abby, she's on a slew of sites. Give her some props. You could also ask us your own questions, if you so choose. You can do so by going to our portal at Dear Bros. I almost said dearbros.com. I don't even know my website.
Brodownpro.com.
Brodownpro.com. We have a spot where you can ask a question completely anonymously, if you so choose. And we're out. Peace out.
Later, Gator.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day.